Hey there, it is Michelle, and I am here today to share some Christmas cards I made from scraps. So, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I have been kind of MIA for the last few weeks. Christmas kind of always overwhelms me. Also, if you've been here before, check out my new glass mat. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so I made some cards, and I want to show you the collection. It was called, it's from Keep It Simple, and it's called Here Comes Santa Claus. This is from last year, and it is still available. I have a ton. I have the 12 by 12 times 2, the 6 by 9 times 2. I have the die cuts and ephemera times 2, and I have the stamp set and matching die set. I did not use this today. What I did use are a bunch of the ephemera, and so let me show you real quick before I go show you the cards. I get these at Dollar Tree for $1.25. They're nice and sturdy. And so I kind of divided out the ephemera. Here I have lots of words. Snowmen, Santas, the tiny bits. I have some gingerbread. I have a couple, well, three of these cute little scenes. Here are reindeer and trees, and then here are wreaths and banners. And then here, so my goal was to use up scraps. And before I go any further, this is part of the Baby Got Scraps YouTube hop. So here, and I used only Keep It Simple dies. I used, so this comes with the tag die set, and they're little bitty tags. So I cut, this is just with the tiny little scraps, right? I didn't cut into big pieces of paper to make these banners. And then I cut bigger banners. We have a nested banner set, and here is another one of them. I like that these are stitched. These are not, but they're still super cute. Okay, and then here are some cutouts from the cutout sheet. That will make cute cards. And then I have various die cut pieces from previous projects, like these triangles, these squares. Those are from a die cut set we have that makes a little album. And so this is a kit, but you can also buy the die cut, the dies to make it. So I just have all these little bits, and they were just taking up so much space. Here are more little bits of paper. So I'm always reaching for the smaller pieces of paper over the larger. Here is from the 12 by 12. Those are 6 by 9. So let me just stack these out. And then let me show you what I used. One thing I want to show you, whoops, that is part of another project. The paper is 6 by 9 and not 6 by 8. And that allowed me to use this larger rectangle die, and so this red is cut with it. It leaves just this tiny, like a 1/16 inch border, and just gives it a nice finished touch. But what was cool is that I was able to use I get 2 cuts out of the 6x9, but I would not have been able to do that with a 6x8. So that was nice. And this is trash. I just wanted to save it to show you. This die set is made to work with A2 cards, which is what this is. A2 cards are 5.5 by 4.25, or 4.25 by 5.5. So here's some of those banners I cut out. I just did a little grouping there. Here is a banner die. Let me show you the banner dies. I don't think these have actually been released yet, so here's a sneak peek. These are tags, nested stitch tags, nested stitch pennants, and it's right here. Here are the banners. And this is the tag die set I was talking about. I used these from. This was the die cut ephemera that I sorted. It comes with a whole bunch. And I've used a lot for scrapbooking, but a lot of these also are more geared to card making, like wishing you a Merry Christmas. Okay, so there's that one. And then I stamped with an old, close to my heart stamp set. Where did it run off to? Here it is. Be Jolly. And it just has 4 different sentiments. So I stamped different ones. Alright. And then there's this one. And I also used, they have shaker frames, keep it simple, on their A2 frames, and there are 7 of them, and they're labeled 1 through 7. So this particular one is this, so that's on the outside, and then a rectangle die and another rectangle die. Just kind of layered them up, and then I use one of the die cut ephemera. All right, let's see. This one I used rectangle dies, and this was actually, this beige is actually an offcut from a die, and I used it, and then I stamped in it. And then here is another one. This one used the stamp. Let's see, where did it go? At the bottom of the barrel. This one used this die, and it also cuts an inside, and then it cuts these postage stamp dies, which I can use for something else. Have it in 2 different colors. So there is that one, and then I used an oval die just to kind of give that a bit of a background. And the center one is the inside. So basically I cut this with green paper and then with red paper, and then I mixed and matched. So here's the red and here's the green, and then I cut the beige cream tan one with a rectangle die. Here are more of the banners. More banners. And then this one, I used some of the Back to Basics ruby cardstock to make the card out of red. I used some more of the banners, and I used a lot of foam to bump these up. And I used a lot of my little bitty foam little pieces. I use a lot of fun foam. I like the 1mm thickness. And then here is a die cut ephemera with an oval cut out behind it just to give it a little bit more. And then this one, I used the inside of this die and a rectangle die. And I could have done that with the green, but I didn't. I cut it the size of the card. And then there is the sentiment. And here's the last one. This oval actually was part of a page starter item that you can get from Keep It Simple, and it's like to make quick titles. And so I also added a tree, and I added some ornaments, and I put a star on top of the star. I put some presents. I used the rectangle stitch die, and then here I used some more ephemera. So I am in a hurry to get these out in the mail today. They will still be late for Christmas, but better late than never, right? And so I still have these frames I could use. This will cut two different pieces, and I like to keep little pieces of paper that I've cut with it, just so I can lay it down and see how I like it. This one's a really cool frame with the zigzag, the chevron, and then I love scallops, so these are really cool. This makes lots of little squares, and then you get the squares inside. And then this one is a scallop, and you get the two pieces. This is a really cool die that I planned on using. I don't think I used it, but it makes some really great Christmas sentiments. Forgot about this frame. This makes two pieces, and then there's these separate. That would work well for confetti for a shaker window. And then also what I didn't use is this really cool stamp set. All these sentiments from Keep It Simple, and it gives you ideas of how to create like phrases where you mix the fonts. So I'm hoping to use that more soon. So, check out the link down below of everyone playing along with Baby Got Scraps. I have lots of scraps I am trying to go through. I try to be frugal, but that also means that things can accumulate in here when I don't use product fast enough. But cards are a great way to use up scraps. Great way. So, there we go. Got to get these in the mail today. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.